Life visioning. What exactly does it mean? I guess it depends on the context. For me, it is using your creative vision with focused intent to produce specific results. I'm a big believer in one's ability to co-create their own reality. I often refer to this YouTube channel as my digital vision board, and it is a big part of my own intentional life visioning. A place for reflection, somewhere to share my own personal discoveries, ask questions, ignite ideas, learn, grow, and thrive. Many of these adventures will take me out into the heart of nature, or they may lead me directly into the belly of the beast. Whether I'm visiting one of my favorite mountain spots, dipping my feet into the river, hitting a poetry open mic, or seeing live music, every moment of my life has become a new adventure. This past month's adventure included moving into a new, to me, house. It was kind of a swift transition, but an outcome that was many years in the making. To some, moving might not seem all that adventurous, or in the very least, it can be stressful and mundane. But the circumstances by which I became the steward of this new household is part of the adventure, which calls for a bit of backstory. I spent the previous 6 months living on the shores of Lake Superior. Enjoying the magic of the lake brought such a deeply healing experience to my life. I made some dear friends and shared some truly meaningful moments. I will always be grateful for the time spent out there, and I most definitely will return again. There was also drama at the place that I worked out there, but I will save that story for another video. While I was living in Minnesota, my world collided with another aspiring content creator, someone 20 years my junior. At first blush, it looked like I'd met a member of my soul family walking on this earth. An artist I interviewed for a magazine once referred to these types of people as, quote, kinfolk. So I've somewhat adopted the term when referring to my own chosen family. We decided to move back to Colorado together and begin a YouTube project together. I've often said, when you make plans, the gods laugh. Because what unfolded since making the move back to Colorado in June 2025 until now has been one hell of a roller coaster ride. 2 days after arriving in Colorado, I hit the ground running, working at my new job. I worked for nearly a month straight with very few days off. Every moment of my free time was spent curating, filming, and editing content as we were publishing 3 YouTube videos per week. We did really well for about a month. Then suddenly, my collaborator decided to accept a job in another state and told me they were leaving in 2 weeks' time, that they've decided to, quote, go solo. Yes, I was upset that they had decided to back out of our collaboration. We'd committed to doing 90 days before making any changes or adjustments. But they simply said that they prefer to work alone. That aside, having this person in my life somewhat jeopardized my living situation to a certain degree. I could create an entire other video discussing the specifics of what happened, but thank goodness that I have the love and earned respect of sincere people in my life. So, I've been cashing in a whole lot of soul cash lately. And I wished my former collaborator success and moved on with my life. About mid-July, my landlord approached me with an opportunity to become a house steward of one of their properties. Basically, this means that I manage the rentals within the household while also living there myself. You will always have housing security as long as we're alive, my landlord told me earnestly one day. My landlord is part of that sincere people group in my life. I've been renting from them off and on for nearly 7 years. We developed a fondness for one another, an acknowledgement of one another's humanity. Good people, my landlord. This house situation seemed like an awesome opportunity to really set down some roots. I'd kind of drifted around for a bit. All my life, I've kind of just bounced from place to place. A few years spent here, a few years spent there. Truth be told, I do get wanderlust. And the idea of settling down is kind of scary. It's a lot of responsibility. Certainly much more than simply renting a room somewhere. But I came to the realization the other day that I've only ever bounced around because it was all I ever knew. So I just thought that it is what I was supposed to do. Except, what if it actually isn't what I'm supposed to do? I remember journaling about attracting the perfect housing circumstance for myself. And here we are today. Maybe I owe it to my inner child to try some housing stability for a while. Perhaps this house is much more than simply a house. Perhaps it is the next stage in the adventure of healing my wounded and lost inner child. All of this is for her, because she went through a lot growing up, and she deserves it. And so do I.